All right, Math A, here we go. We got lesson 2-2. We're going to start talking about slope triangles. Now that we got all the vocabulary out of the way for our coordinate plane, now we're going to start talking about something called slope. The slope on a line describes how steep a line is. So the slope gives you a number that helps us compare the steepness of different lines. Now, when we have the slope of the line, we usually write it as a fraction. The fraction, some say, is the rise over the run. Rise meaning just the x coordinates, like how much is it going up and down. And then the run is how much it's going side to side. We can also call that the change in the y values divided by the change in the x values. So that little triangle there, that means change. So the slope tells us how much the y value is changing and then compares it to how much the x value is changing between any 2 points. So let's look at slope of line A here. So here's line A, and we've got 2 nice little lattice points right there where we can make our slope from. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a triangle between those 2 points. We'll make a horizontal line going this way, and then a vertical line going this way. And then the diagonal line itself makes this portion of the triangle. Okay, so we're looking for the rise over the run or the change in y over the change in x. Now we always go from left to right and then from down to up. So this one is going up a total of 2 units. So that's a positive 2. It's going up 2. Now going to the right, it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's positive 10. Now, some of you, when you count these out, I've seen you do it before. This is how you count. You go 1, 2. No. You can't start on the first point. It's after the first point. So put your pencil down on the first point and then start counting when you start moving. So we're going to go, not starting yet. We're on the point. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so the change in the y value is over here on the triangle. It's going up 2. The change on the x value is positive 10. So we would say that our slope is 2 over 10, which does reduce. That reduces to 1/5. There's our slope triangle. Let's do our next one. So our next one is B. Now this one is a little bit different than the previous one. Going from this point to this point, I usually go from left to right. The y values from left to right are not going up, they're going down instead. So we would say that the y values on this one are decreasing by, start at the point and then start counting it, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that one's going down 4, so we're going to put a negative. And then it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 4 in that direction. Remember, on the y-axis, going down means negative. And then on the x-axis, going to the right means positive. So if I look at my rise over my run, or the change in y over change in x, the y is changing by going down 4, and the x is changing by going right 4. So we would have negative 4 over positive 4. Which reduces to negative 1. Next one. Where is C? Here's C. So going from left to right, so I would start here and then go up here. This one is going right 2, and it's going up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's positive 6. We're going right 2, up 6. Remember, it's the y on top, so we're going to put 6 in the numerator, and we're going to put 2 in the denominator. And this reduces to 3 over 1, which we can just write as 3. Same thing. All right, let's look at our last one. We've got D for our last one. Here's D over here, going from left to right. Here's my first point. It looks like I'm going down to start this one, and then I'm going right. So if I'm going down 2, and then I'm going right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my change in my y values is -2. I'm going down by 2. My change in my x values is right 5. So I've got -2 over 5. That doesn't reduce, so I would just leave it there. What do lines A and C have in common? So here's A and here's C. Well, when we read the graph from left to right, I notice that A is going up and C is also going up. So we would call these increasing functions. So they both are increasing, and if we look at our slopes, A and C both have positive slopes. So they have a couple things in common. They are increasing functions, and they both have positive slopes. What do lines B and D have in common? Well, here's B going this direction, here's D. So if I'm looking at the graph from left to right, both of these graphs are decreasing, they're going down. So they're both decreasing functions, and if I look at their slopes, they are both negative. Okay, so decreasing functions. And they have negative slopes. All right, looking at all those graphs, I think that if we look at A, B, C, and D, it looks like C has the steepest line. So which line is the steepest? We're going to say line C. Now let's look at the slopes. That's 1 over 5, which is about 0.2. 1, 3, 2 over 5, that's 0.4. Okay, so of all these numbers, this line is the steepest and it has the biggest slope. So we're finding out that slope is telling us about how steep a line is. And so the bigger your slope, the steeper the line is. So here's the 3 things that we found so far. First piece of information that we need to remember is that if the line is increasing, it's going to have a positive slope. Next thing, when the line was decreasing, we found out that it's going to have a negative slope. Last thing we found out is the steepest lines have the biggest slopes. You spell steep, S-T-E-E-P. That doesn't look right. Whatever. Steep lines have bigger slopes. All right, so that's what we've learned here. All right, last little section here. Find the slope of the line passing through the following points. First point is at 1, 5, so that means right 1, up 5. So we go right 1, up 5. There's my first point. The other one, -3, so that's left 3 and down 1. So left 3, down 1. Okay, now just look at that. You can tell that this should have a positive slope because from left to right, this is an increasing function. So keep that in mind as you're doing it. Look and predict what the slope values are going to be. Now this is a fairly steep line, so I wouldn't expect it to be like a super small number. So I can see that my y values are increasing by 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they are increasing by 6. And my x values are increasing by 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope for this one would be 6 over 4, which reduces to 3 over 2. That's about 1.5. Not about, it is 1.5. So 1.5, so it's positive, which we predicted, and it's 1.5, which means that it's got some steepness to it. Let's look at the next one. Next one, negative 4, 6. So this means to the left 4 and up 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's right up here. Next point, 0, negative 2. So that means it doesn't go left or right, it just goes down 2. So 0, 2, this point right here. All right, take a good look at this line. What do you predict about it? Now compare it to this one. Do you expect it to be a positive or a negative slope? Do you expect this to be a bigger number than 1.5 or a smaller number than 1.5? It looks a little bit steeper to me. So I would predict, since this one's increasing and this one's decreasing, we should get a negative slope for this one. And I think it looks a little bit steeper, so we should get a little bit bigger number than 1.5. Let's see how it goes. So we'll make our slope triangle between here. So the y values are definitely going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're going down 8. And they're going this way, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's positive 4. So we would say negative 8 over 4. And that reduces to negative 2 over 1, or just negative 2. Now look at this. It's exactly what our prediction said. This was positive slope, and we predicted this would be a negative slope, which it was. Also, this one looked a little bit steeper. Remember, this is 1.5. This is 2. So yeah, it is a steeper line. Steeper lines have bigger slopes. We could read the future. All right, 6, 2. That means they go right 6 and up 2. Negative 2, 4. That means I go left 2 and up 4. All right, there's our line. Take a second to make some predictions here. Positive or negative slope? Is this steeper or less steep? So should we have a bigger slope number or a smaller slope number? Did you get your prediction? Let's see how it goes. This one, if we make our triangle, goes here to here. So this one goes down 2, so negative 2. And it goes to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the change in y is negative 2. The change in the x values is 8. This one reduces to negative 1/4, or 0.25. So negative, yeah, we should have predicted that because that's going downhill. 0.25 versus 2. Like this is a lot smaller. And look, the slope is less. So a smaller number is going to give us a less steep slope. This one is steeper because the value for the slope is bigger, and the slope tells us something about the steepness. That's all I got for you today. Keep mathing hard. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.